Hello and a warm welcome to South Asia Today, where we bring you in-depth insights into the key events shaping South Asia. I'm Shivangi Mishra, and here are today's top stories. India's chess boom from classroom to grandmaster. Nepali farmers brace for an uncertain monsoon. And a year after floods, Gilgit-Baltistan battles erosion and neglect. Let's begin the show. India is fast emerging as a global powerhouse in chess. From producing world champions and grandmasters to nurturing a new generation of prodigies, the country is witnessing a remarkable chess revolution. At the heart of this transformation is Chennai, the city that gave India its first world chess champion and continues to shape the champions of tomorrow. So what makes Chennai this new chess capital? Let's find out.
No one is sprinting. There are no roaring crowds, no stadium lights, yet an intense battle unfolds here every second. Across 64 squares, every move demands strategy, patience and precision. One mistake can change the course of the game. This is chess, a sport that is inspiring a new generation of young Indians. At the heart of this movement is Chennai, widely regarded as India's chess capital. The city is home to some of the country's finest chess academies where young minds are being trained to become tomorrow's champions. We visited the Madras School of Chess, where every lesson is another move towards a grandmaster dream.
So we have a structured training courses across levels, like from absolute beginner to rated players. So we have separate batches, we have standard curriculum. I think the most important thing is consistent and balanced training.
Now, meet one of the brightest faces of India's new chess generation, Akash Ganesan, India's 66th Grandmaster and the youngest ever winner of the National Senior Chess Championship. With this remarkable achievement, Akash surpassed a long-standing record set by India's chess legend Vishwanathan Anand, marking the arrival of a new generation ready to take Indian chess to even greater heights.
When I became a grandmaster, there are two types of people. One who is very happy about it and the other one who is relieved. Okay, finally I became a grandmaster. I was belonging to the second one because I was chasing this GM title for a long time. After my engineering, I quit engineering. I just went into full-time into chess. I was taking a lot of risk. So when it finally happened, I had a moment of relief.
The rise of chess in Chennai is no longer limited to classrooms and academies. Across the city, it has grown into a vibrant community movement, bringing people together through a shared love for the game. One such initiative is the Chennai Chess Club, where open chess camps are held every Sunday, welcoming players of all ages and skills level to learn, compete, and enjoy the game together.
We wanted to bring in all age groups, all skill level, women of even 60 plus who wanted to play chess. This is when we started Chennai Chess Club. So chess is for all. Chess is for everyone. So let them all come in, have fun. So that is when we started the Sunday meetups.
This is a very shorter format for any working parent to actually bring the kid so that the kid actually gets motivated to play at a very, very different level. This is how Pragnananda played, this is how Gugesh played.
These scenes reflect that the rise of chess in India is not merely about medals and rankings. It is in a sense a story of a changing mindset. Today, chess is being embraced not just by the young but by people of all ages as a powerful tool for learning, creativity and mental growth. In India, chess is no longer confined to the boundaries of sport. It is steadily evolving into a culture, a way of thinking, and a shared language of the mind.
Nepal has celebrated National Paddy Day with its traditional mix of mud, music, and rice planting, as hundreds of farmers gathered in Sinduli to mark the beginning of the monsoon cultivation season. But beneath the festive spirit lies growing concern, with El Nino expected to bring below to normal rainfall and higher temperatures. Farmers are bracing for a challenging season. Local authorities have already stepped up irrigation support, hoping to protect crops and livelihoods from the looming threat of drought. Have a look.
असार 15 को अवसरलाई चाहिँ विशेष ध्यानमा राख्दै सप्ताहव्यापी रोपाई महोत्सवको रूपमा मरिन गाउँपालिकाको आयोजना रहेको छ। त्यस क्रममा चाहिँ हामीले आज विभिन्न खाले स्थानीय जुन पूर्वकालदेखि परम्परागत रूपमा हामीले गर्दै आएको जुन खेती गोरु जोताई त्यसैगरी असारे गीत लगायतको हाम्रो चाहिँ विभिन्न खाले जातजाति वेशभूषा संस्कृति झल्किने गरी जुन एउटा रोपाई महोत्सवको आयोजना गरेका छौं। आज एकदमै हर्ष उल्लासका साथ सफल भएको छ।
Along with the celebration, the farmers continuously worked in the field, leveling the mud to ensure an even level and a continuous flow of water, creating favorable topography for the paddy saplings to grow. While planting these saplings, farmers ran behind each other, smearing mud on their faces and splashing muddy water as a means of fun. Rice is Nepal's staple crop, grown from the Terai plains to the highlands of Jumla. The country produces around 5.5 million metric tons of paddy annually against a demand of about 7 million metric tons. This year's celebrations, however, come amid concerns of a weaker monsoon due to the El Nino effect. Nepal's Department of Hydrology and Meteorology has forecast below average rainfall and above normal temperatures across much of the country during the June-September monsoon, raising fears of lower agricultural output and food insecurity.
स्वाभाविक रूपले वातावरणीय असरहरू चाहिँ हुने कुरा हामीलाई थाहा छ र समयमा आवश्यकता अनुसार वर्षा हुँदैन भन्ने कुरा पनि हामीलाई थाहा छ। त्यही कारणले गर्दा कृषिमा हामीले विशेष जोड गर्दै हिउँदे बाली बेमौसमी बाली त्यसैगरी वर्षायाममा पनि हुने खडेरीलाई मध्यनजर गरेर हामीले वार्षिक रूपमा करिबन 1 करोड बराबरको चाहिँ मोटर सिँचाइ पाइपहरू चाहिँ वितरण गर्दै आएका छौं र अहिले भर्खरै पनि हामीले मलाई लाग्छ 2 दिन अगाडिदेखि हामीले करिब 1 करोड बराबरको चाहिँ पाइप खरिद गरेका थियौं, मोटरहरू खरिद गरेका थियौं, त्यो वितरण गर्न सुरुवात गरिएको छ।
Asher 15, observed as National Paddy Day in Nepal since 2005, marks the start of the paddy planting season with the arrival of the monsoon.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
India and Seychelles marked the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations last week as both countries pledged for a stable, secure and prosperous Indian Ocean region. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Seychelles President Patrick Hermani held talks earlier in the day aimed at strengthening cooperation across areas including development partnership, health infrastructure and maritime security, India's foreign ministry said on X. India also announced a special economic package worth $175 million for Seychelles, comprising a $125 million rupee-denominated line of credit and $50 million in grant assistance. Modi was conferred Seychelles' highest honor for international dignitaries, Guardian of the Blue Horizon. He will take part in National Day celebrations later in the day. Africa's wealthiest country per capita, the Indian Ocean archipelago sprawling over 463,000 square miles, is a tourist heaven as well as a target for investment from and security cooperation with China, Gulf nations and India. South Korea and Japan reaffirmed their commitment to the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula and agreed to revive joint search and rescue drills in a step forward for security ties between the neighboring countries. Meeting in Seoul, South Korean Defense Minister Ang Yu-bak and his Japanese counterpart Shinjiro Koizumi agreed to work on regional stability bilaterally as well as through their partnerships with Washington in the 6th round of talks between the two countries. South Korea's defense ministry said in a statement that both ministers shared the view to continue cooperation for maintaining regional peace and stability amid a grave security environment. South Korea and Japan, with US encouragement, have been working to develop closer ties since 2022 and overcome sometimes bitter historical differences, a policy continued by President Lee Jae-myung and Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. Two leaders agreed in January 2026 to deepen shuttle diplomacy and in May, expanded cooperation on energy. Tensions, however, remain, including lingering disputes over Korean women forced to work in Japanese military brothels during World War II. Pakistan's security forces killed at least 29 militants in ground and air operations along the Afghanistan border. It said while the Afghan Taliban said at least 38 civilians were killed in airstrikes. The airstrikes on 3 targets in the Afghan province of Paktika and Kunar killed 25 militants while destroying large quantities of weapon and ammunition. Pakistan's information minister Ataullah Tarar said on X on Monday, 4 more fighters linked to the Jamaat-ul-Ahrar faction of Pakistan's Taliban were killed in ground attacks in the Bajaur district of its northern border province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. However, Afghanistan's government spokesperson Hamadullah Fitrat said the strikes killed 38 civilians and injured 163, including women and children. The bulk of the casualties stemmed from Pakistani jets bombing a home in Paktia province, killing 28 and injuring 158, he added. Residents gathered around the damaged house in Paktia on Monday with personal belongings scattered with the mangled remains of the structure.
Let's now turn to Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan, where residents say decades of neglect continue to take a heavy toll. Nearly a year after devastating floods hit Talidas and Gizeh district, many families claim promises of rehabilitation remain unfulfilled. With rising temperatures, increasing erosion and flood risks, locals fear further damage to their homes, farmland and livelihoods. We have a report.
These pictures of riverbank erosion tell a story of neglect and official apathy. Nearly a year after devastating floods struck the region, many affected areas still remain scarred by destruction. For residents of Talidas village, the crisis is far from over. They say repeated appeals for rehabilitation and protection measures have yielded little response, forcing them to continue living with the consequences of the August 2025 floods. Locals argue that the inadequate response reflects the limited attention paid by both the local administration and Pakistan to the lives, livelihoods and property of people in Gilgit-Baltistan.
मैं इस वक्त तालदास के मुकाम पे हूँ। गुज़िश्ता साल अगस्त 2025 में जब सैलाब आया था, उस वक्त से लेकर आज तक जो सूरत हाल है, इस वक्त मुलाबात और तालदास में सैलाबी दरियाई कटाव के मुकम्मल ज़िद में आ चुकी है। लास्ट जब सैलाब आया था, सैलाब के बाद गवर्नमेंट की अदम तवज्जो की वजह से जब गवर्नमेंट ने तालदास और मुलाबात के अवाम के साथ ये वादा किया था कि इसको एक्सवेशन करके दरिया का रुख हम सीधा कर देंगे, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट के अदम तवज्जो की वजह से ना दरिया को एक्सवेशन की गई, ना दरिया का रुख किसी तरह मोड़ा गया। चंद एक हफ्ता 10 दिन तक एक्सवेटर ने वहाँ पे काम किया, लेकिन काम भी ऐसा किया जो न करने के बराबर था। जो पिछले साल सैलाब से कुछ एरिया बच गया था, उसको भी दरिया ने अपनी लपेट में लेकर दरिया ने इरोजन करके सारा एरिया को ख़त्म कर दिया है। और इस वक्त दरिया का रुख मौलाबाद जो है ना आगे सरबंद से मौलाबाद की तरफ मुकम्मल मुड़ा हुआ है, और यही हालत जो तालदास वाली हालत थी, अब लगता है कि मौलाबाद को भी इसी तरह जो है ना खतरा लाहिक है।
Residents of Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan have long complained of systemic neglect spanning over 78 years. Despite the region's strategic importance and natural beauty, people continue to face poor infrastructure, limited healthcare and education facilities, and delayed disaster response. Repeated natural calamities, including floods and landslides, have further worsened living conditions. Locals allege that promises of development and rehabilitation often remain unfulfilled, leaving communities vulnerable and struggling for basic services. The residents have also been raising demands for greater rights and, as they describe it, independence from Pakistan's occupation, both locally and at international forums.
If you love exploring different flavors, have you ever tasted the traditional cuisine of the Jammu region? Dogri food is celebrated for its unique and authentic taste. Dishes once confined to village kitchens and family homes are now making a vibrant comeback, finding a place in food stalls, cafes and restaurant menus. Let's discover the fascinating journey of these cherished regional flavors and their growing popularity.
In the Udhampur district of Jammu and Kashmir lies the serene tehsil of Ramnagar, where mornings unfold with simplicity rather than the rush of city life. Here lives Indira Devi, whose day begins with household chores and caring for her buffaloes. After milking them, the fresh milk is transformed into Kaladi, one of Jammu's most celebrated delicacies. More than just a food item, Kaladi is a craft slowly prepared over a traditional wood-fired earth shaped by hand and cherished as Jammu's famous Dogri cheese.
ये काम मैं 20 साल से कर रही हूँ और मंज मुंज खरीद रही हूँ, कलाड़ी का काम कर रही हूँ। जे साढ़ा बिजनेस ग्रुप के थ्रू पैसा नहीं होता है तो उसे ले जितना भी लाख 50,000 उनसे लेके तो मंज खरीद के ये काम कर रहे हैं।
ये जो कलाड़ी है ये हमारा एक डोगरी कल्चर भी समझ लो और हमारा एक डोगरी लोगों का एक बिजनेस ही समझ लो इस चीज़ को। गाँव की महिला इसको बहुत ज़्यादा करती हैं।
The story of Kaladi is as remarkable as its flavor. It is believed to have originated with the Gujjar Bakarwal nomadic communities of Jammu and Kashmir, who needed a nutritious food that could withstand long journeys and remain edible for extended periods. Beyond the classic pan-roasted version, innovative creations like Kaladi momos, Kaladi pizza and Kaladi sandwiches are giving this age-old favorite a fresh modern twist.
लोग कलाड़ी को घरों में ब्रेड के साथ, कुलचे के साथ, रोटी के साथ खाते थे। तो हमारा रेस्टोरेंट खोलने का ये मकसद था कि हम कलाड़ी को एक्सपेरिमेंट करके लोगों के साथ हम कलाड़ी के मोमोज, कलाड़ी के परांठा, कलाड़ी का पिज़्ज़ा ऐसी चीज़ यूज़ करें और आपकी प्लेट में हम कलाड़ी की बहुत सारी आइटम सर्व कर पाएँ।
The world of Dogri cuisine extends far beyond Kaladi. It offers a variety of flavors that captivate every food enthusiast. Among them are dip kulcha and ambal. Dip kulcha is a distinctive bread best enjoyed by dipping it into steaming rajma, creating a combination that keeps people coming back for more. Ambal, on the other hand, is a traditional pumpkin-based delicacy infused with spices that give it a delightful sweet and tangy taste. Once reserved for weddings and special occasions, these cherished dishes have now found a place on the menus of Jammu's cafes, restaurants and hotels.
और हमने जब से इसको शुरू किया हुआ है तो अच्छे रिस्पांस आए हमारे पास। बहुत से कस्टमर बहुत सी तारीफ़ करते हैं, कुछ लोग बाहर से आते हैं, कुछ लोकल तो हमारे पास ऑलरेडी वो तो टेस्ट करते ही करते हैं, उनको तो पसंद आता ही है। जो बाहर के कस्टमर उनका बहुत अच्छा रिस्पांस आया।
Dogri cuisine is much more than food. It's a reflection of the identity and soul of the Jammu region. Today, Dogri food is no longer confined to Jammu. It is steadily winning admirers across the country. And those who taste it once rarely forget it, because Dogri cuisine does more than satisfy hunger. It leaves a lasting impression on the heart.
As we wrap up today's episode of South Asia Today, we thank you for joining us. We'll return next week at the same time with more insights and updates. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of our entire team. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.